lost your color for a minute, now you black again. Yeah, I'm on a blockchain with it, and my blockchain monkeys full of octane in them. You know the vibe, plus we shredded than a motherfucker. Yeah, we crash monkeys. Yeah, we crash monkeys. It go Planet of the Apes, gorillas in a mess. All these bad rules all over my shit. It go Planet of...
What is going on, blockchain monkeys? Eagle here to thank you for coming to my jungle. And first of all, I'm no financial advisor whatsoever, nor am I professional in blockchain technology. But there is one thing that I absolutely will do, and let's give you my opinion. So today, we're going to go back to MeanFi and talk about these payment streams. OMG. But before we do, we're going to slide down Twitter and check out their milestone. You see it, 3 million Mean staked. As MeanDAO inches closer to the on-chain governance, we are excited to announce that over 3 million Mean tokens are now being actively staked on the platform. We would like to take this moment in thanking our supporters, investors, community members, and partners. Okay, so coming on over here to the payment streaming white paper, abstract. Payment streaming represents the idea of continuous payments over time. Block numbers are used to measure time in the blockchain and continuously update the balances of the parties in the contract. Now take a look here. I want you to see how this bad boy works, okay? When a payment is made to the payee in exchange for time, i.e. employment, an implicit debt obligation is established from the payer to the payee, which is non-mutual, carries 0% interest, and financially favors the payer in detriment of the payee. You see, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Innovation right in front of your face. The following describes a protocol whereby time is measured using block numbers and the agreed upon payment rate is streamed continuously to the recipient. Are you getting this? The contractual terms are enforced by the Payment Streaming Protocol, PSP. The reference implementation for the MSP is made in Solana blockchain due to its many benefits and in particular thanks to its 400 millisecond block times. Now, when I'm looking at that, it made me think about Solana's white paper. So shown here in the network design, at any given time, a system node is designated as leader to generate a proof of history sequence, providing the network global read consistency and verifiable passage of time. The leader sequences user messages and orders them such that they can be efficiently processed by other nodes in the system, maximizing throughput. It executes the transactions on the current state that is stored on RAM and publishes the transactions and a signature of the final state to the replications nodes called verifiers. Verifiers execute the same transactions on their copies of the state and publish their computed signatures of the state as confirmations. The published confirmations serve as votes for the consensus algorithm. So now that you can see kind of where the time element comes into play, let's look at some of the motivations here. Payment streaming is beneficial in scenarios where money obligations are defined as a direct function of time in discrete terms. A job per se, $20 per hour, or a pension plan, $1,000 per month from retirement and until death are typical examples where money distributions are agreed upon as a function of time. I mean, this is completely changing the game. Talking about replacing the middleman and talking about putting the worker in a position to win. Huge shout out to MeanFi. Now, what I really want to dig into is these use cases. I mean, for starters, we got simple payments and alternative of one-time payments that work great for services received, such as like a handyman or to set up gifts over time. We got remittances and family allowance. Allocate funds regularly to help family members abroad and let them decide when they need to use them. Child allowances for colleges, expenses also fit. You know what I mean? It just keeps going. And then you have your business use cases, okay? You got your subscriptions, and then right here, the treasurer, this is the money flow. And then you have these streams going out according to how you had that set up in the beginning with your multi-sigs. And as you can see here, we got payroll, then we got retirement and fundraising, then we got pension plan payments, retirement distributions from retirement until age of death. And then here you got real estate use cases, rent payments, real estate sales, and then you got your donations, inheritance, tax payment, distributions. It just keeps on going. The use cases are endless, and this is what I love about blockchain. And so before I let you go, I wanted to bring you to this section called Payment Streaming Actors, just so you can get a little bit more familiar on what's happening here. The Payment Streaming Program specification defines how the different players, actors, and components interact with each other. The Solana blockchain is used as a reference implementation, but the same concepts can be applied to other chains such as Avalanche and Ethereum. So the basic premise of a payment streaming smart contract is that once it gets exhausted between the treasurer, which is the sender, and a beneficiary, which is a recipient, its terms are enforced by code instead of humans. The treasurer cannot run away with the money owed to the beneficiary, and the beneficiary cannot take the money she or he has not yet earned. Once the smart contract is set up, and once the trust is established, the rest is history. Give me the like, comment, and subscribe. And we will all see each other on the moon.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in these streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain.